Hi, you're watching Talk Solent. With me today on the sofa are Mike Stratton, Mike Lyons and Laura Sydenham. Now, the word literally, you may have noticed, has officially now peaked and is now at epidemic levels, literally. We literally hear it all the time now in 2017, but what other cliched words and expressions do you hate? Which ones annoy you the most? Now, the website LinkedIn, other similar websites are available, has revealed its top 10 buzzwords for 2017, cliches which you literally should avoid on your CVs and profiles. We're going to have some fun with this one. We'll also be talking about filler words. My colleague Chris Wood has given me, Chris Jones rather, I do apologise, has given me an article here from the New York Times, which we'll also be looking at about filler words like, like, and so. Yeah, and you know what I mean? So that sort of thing. Right, okay. So let's talk about CVs and profiles on websites. I don't know if any of the terms here, the cliche terms here, jumped out at you. Anyone in particular that you particularly liked here?
So literally.
Well, I mean,
specifically that one, eh?
Specifically that one, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we've got, okay, let's take an example, passionate. Now, this article here, you know, from the New Zealand Herald is saying, passion is not an emotion you should associate with work. Yes, be keen and enthusiastic, but save passion for your lover, a favourite hobby or a good cause. Focused, and that is a cliche, isn't it? Focused.
Yeah.
Means putting your head down and doing your job as you're supposed to. So why would you put it down as an advantage? And then innovative. This means nothing to an employer unless you can show what you've innovated lately.
Well, actually, innovation is the one that normally scares most employers, because if you're innovative, you'll come into a workplace and you want to change things up. You say, well, actually, it could be done better. And no workplace wants that.
No.
Strategic. What about that one?
Strategic.
Have you got strategic on your CV, Mike Stratton?
That's why I work for myself. My strategy is to bury my head, do my work, and go home at the end of the day.
Right.
That's it. I have to laugh at some of this, I think.
So these are things that look a bit naff. So you know, we're saying avoid them on your CV. Any particular cliches in the English language that you hate, Mike Lyons? What's springing to mind? Anything?
I have to admit, a lot of the ones that have been used quite a lot recently, like peak, fam, and stuff like this, really, really great. But I just find language on a whole is not really taught correctly in this country. Because the English language could be a fantastic, precise tool to get your ideas across. The only problem is the way language is taught is it limits us in our ability to use that. And that's why so many people are using buzzwords, are using like colloquial terms to just express themselves, because it's easy.
Defo.
So when you say correctly, Mike Lyons, what do you mean basically by that?
Well, take for example the English language, because it's borrowed and stolen from every other language around. It has so many terms to describe what we think is essentially the same thing. But it turns out that each one of those words is a slight different version of that same thing. So it can be used very precisely in giving the idea you want to get across. The only problem is no one's taught the precise nature of the language, and so no one can use it effectively.
Interesting point. And Laura, did you have something to add? What about on CVs you often see team player? Good team player.
I think that's something that every single teacher tells you to put down. We're a team player. So we're going to try and, you know, there's no individual... I can't say that, sorry. Everyone should try to be a little bit more unique. Show that, obviously, when you're going into a workforce, you need to show that you have something, that you're not exactly the same as everybody else. And I feel that, obviously, with all these words that are listed down there, most school leavers tend to be using this. So it kind of I just say
Yeah, we're going to move on to that in a minute. Yes, yeah. What about highly motivated team player?
Oh, are we stacking the buzzwords up now?
Yeah.
I am an expert, highly motivated, passionate team player.
Focused team player.
Hey, it's like reading my CV again.
And one that's come up recently, moving forward. People say that, don't they? In business a lot. Okay, so going forward, moving forward. And the other one was mentioned recently. We need to have a conversation about that. You know, people say that, don't they, sometimes? So obviously we've got basically, we've got literally, which has been around for a very long time. That's certainly not a 2017 one. And like. So
Cool, yeah.
how do you stop using filler words? What advice would you give there, Mike? How do we how do we literally stop using filler words?
Well, filler words shouldn't be avoided entirely. They have their purpose, they have their place. The only problem is when you use too many of them at the same time or in one go, it becomes a fluffy, unimportant conversation because it's literally full of filler words. What am I going to say?
Yeah, basically, I suppose. Yeah.
But it all comes down to what I was saying before about because we're not taught precisely the nature of the language, we're like clumsily trying to pull words together to convey our ideas.
The thing is, some words are even made up. Defo. Back in the 90s, that meant you couldn't hear properly. Now defo means definitely. Another one, chillax.
Chillax.
Oh, the
Chill and
combination of
relax.
words.
Chillax.
Yeah.
Chillax. That's something
That's
like
a subject in itself.
that's something like you'd put in. It's something that you'd put to remedy your constipation in the fridge. Yeah. I'm kind of trying to get my head around this. All these words that are made up, and chillax is the one that probably gets me the most.
Yeah.
What are you up to today? Just chillaxing.
Yeah, I haven't heard it used quite that much, but I have seen it. You know, yeah.
When somebody first said that, I went, "You what?" And they're going, "Chillaxing." Excuse me. I'm chilling out and relaxing. But why don't you say I'm chilling out and I'm relaxing?
Yeah.
No,
they're the same
chillaxing
thing,
is
aren't
less of a
they?
mouthful. Yeah, chillax. Right, okay.
And what about sick? Young people are saying sick now, which means great, cool, fashionable,
Really?
exciting. You know, in the last year they've been saying it. I mean, how on earth did sick come to mean something positive?
So how are you feeling today? Sick? Well, go see a doctor. No, I'm fine. I'm just feeling sick. Right, okay. Is our language going to change completely into something else?
Well, I just saw this thing on Facebook the other day, and it pretty much showed all the emoticons, and right next to it, all the Egyptian hieroglyphics, and it was like, yeah, we're going back from the start. We're literally going back to a more picturesque way of communicating, rather than doing it via words. And just looking at the texting habits over the last 20 years, which has led to most of this combining of words or shortening of words, just to fit everything in the 144 characters you got.
The word of the year last year, I'm informed by Chris, was the laughing emoji.
Oh my god.
In one of the actual dictionaries. But these filler words, as we call them, are actually technically known as discourse markers, interjections, or verbal pauses. I like that.
I'll tell you another word that gets used a lot. Lol.
Lol. Yeah. And it doesn't really mean lots of love anymore, does it?
No,
that's what-
well, it's laugh out loud, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I've just said in it. And
Yeah, well,
Yeah. And do you know what's interesting? With the filler words here, the writer of this article has suggested that, if we actually take the trouble to breathe and take before we're about to make a point or express ourselves, we'll be more, lucid and confident, and we won't need to use filler words as a kind of like a crutch.
well, the filler words are trying to hold the space. So when you're thinking of the next thing to say, you say that to make sure you're holding that space and no one else can interject while you're thinking of the next thing to say. So they do have their place. It's
Have
just
you
interesting.
noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that people are often, in the last year or two, I've noticed people are answering a question by saying so at the beginning. And I didn't notice this until about a year or 2 years ago. So you ask someone a question, you ask someone to explain something, and they'll say, so. But we weren't doing that 2 years ago, I don't think.
No.
Well, I've got a nice habit of starting a lot of things with going, well.
Yes, that's an old classic, yeah. And no worries in customer service has replaced you're welcome.
Do you know something?
Some of my colleagues in the office were saying earlier.
I'd say that one a lot, no worries.
We've had this conversation a few times with customer services and the way you get greeted. I walked into a garage the other day to go and pay for my fuel, and do you know how I got greeted? All right, dude.
And you were not impressed.
I wasn't impressed.
No,
I actually said something to him. Actually said something to him. Dude?
I hate dude, actually.
How do you spell that? Is it D-U-D-E or D-O-O-D?
Yeah. Got no time for dude.
And all right, mate, I've had that so many times. Can I help you, mate? And I've actually said to people a couple of times, have I ever bought you a pint down the pub? No? Well, you're not my mate then.
It should be sir and madam, unless you know someone, surely. I mean, in many European countries, sir and madam is used all the time, whereas here, it's become a bit...
Yeah. I'm quite common talking, but when I answer the phone to my customers, I will, if I take their name and they introduce themselves as Mr. Such and Such or Mrs. Such and Such, I will address them like that. I think everything, including filler words, it's going back to the filler words, everything is changing in modern day society.
Perfect.
Everything.
See, we're saying perfect now. Instead of all right, or that's good, or that's fine, we're saying perfect. Now, perfect is a pretty strong word. We need to redefine what perfect means, because we're often saying it when what we really mean is that's okay, or that's done, or that's fine. We're saying perfect now, aren't we?
Cool is used a lot as well.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, that was certainly, your performance was well, I'd say perfect today. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Might have been better than mine, actually. Anyway, that's literally all we've got time for today, unfortunately. Never enough time. And my very many thanks to today's guest. Talk Solent returns next week at the same time. All the best. Goodbye.